So hi, I'm Will Step and Virtue Technologist, and I'm here today with Dan Kingsley, who's the UK Channel Manager for NetSupport. Hi, Dan.
Hi, how are you? Are you all right?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. So we're going to have a chat today about NetSupport and how NetSupport really supports education.
Yeah,
So firstly, can I ask a little bit about NetSupport's journey, how it's got to
sure.
where it is today?
Yeah, absolutely. So hello everyone, I'm Dan. NetSupport as a journey we started 36 years ago.
Wow.
Initially starting out purely just as a kind of a one-to-one remote tool. And it was kind of back in the day when it was just use your work computer from home, essentially is how it started. As things evolved, that one-to-one connection became one-to-many, and then thought, okay, what if that many was a classroom and you had that ability to sort of control and give support to students in a lesson? And really, it's kind of all just snowballed from there.
Yeah. So what I mean, NetSupport, obviously you mentioned schools and classroom there. What is NetSupport
Mm.
really most well known for in schools and education space?
Yeah, so I think classroom management definitely is kind of our bread and butter. Over the years, that's what we've got kind of the most experience in, and I think we've got a couple of tools that do it, whether it's a cloud-based tool or an on-prem. But some of the most sophisticated classroom
Yeah.
management on the market, but also safeguarding. Certainly in the last probably 10 years now, I think that's really picked up the pace from just what was just filtering into now, full-blown device monitoring is where we're really focusing on, and having our software on school devices ensures that student safety, whether they're in school, out of school, whatever they might be doing, and making the appropriate staff known.
Yeah, so a lot of that capability has been pulled together into Classroom Cloud, and
Yeah.
that's the solution that we've sold to many schools over the last few
Mm.
years. But what does that do exactly, and why has it been so successful?
Well, I think it's been so successful because it's a three-in-one tool. So it helps the schools to be able to tick a lot of boxes in one go, whether that is supporting all the teachers in the classroom element, the safeguarding elements, and tying into KCSIE, which I'm sure we'll come on to, but then also your IT staff, the real backbone of all of this is what's available to them as far as remotely supporting users, device management, and things like that. So capturing those three elements and three, groups of users, all kind of combined into a really simple yet scalable cloud-based solution,
Yeah.
in line with all kind of the latest systems and platforms. It just kind of ties everything all together really easily.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned kids who are keeping children safe in education. That's the
Mm.
guidance that school live by, isn't it? Everybody
Yeah.
has to adhere to that. What key reasons make Classroom Clouds so well geared to supporting schools with our KCSIE?
Well, I think there's a couple of reasons. I guess on the technology side itself is just how powerful it is and the coverage that it offers. So in Classroom.Cloud, with the software installed, you're capturing anything that a student types, copy and pastes, and that can be in any application. We're not just talking about web browsers here, we're talking
Hmm.
anywhere on the device. It also does track web page titles. So if a student's clicked on a link to a harmful website, it will be in the title, and we capture that. We've also introduced image analysis. So that actually watches the student screens for any inappropriate imagery and reports that as a
Hmm.
new source. So there really isn't any option, to be honest, for a student to be able to do anything on student device, on their devices without it being kind
Oh
of
yeah,
monitored and captured. And then I guess on the other side of that, it's kind of the usability and the customization. Some tools can be a little bit on rails, so to speak. Out the box, that's them
yeah,
monitoring, off you go. But ours is quite flexible, so the DSLs can tweak. Do they want certain words? Do they want the severities to be higher or lower? Who's going to be alerted in this instance? There's risk analysis scores, there's reporting, loads and loads of stuff
mm.
there. So really helpful for them.
And you talk about devices quite a bit there.
Mm.
So what type of devices are we looking at? Are we looking at just Windows devices, or is there a whole range of other
We
operating
do.
systems?
So Windows devices, naturally. We do have really good support for Chromebook and integrations with your Google Classrooms and whatnot, which makes that really accessible. Single sign-on and stuff for Google accounts. We've also got Macs, and we've also got iOS. And I mean, iOS is historically quite a tricky subject for us software developers. They are quite limiting on what we can and can't do. But at the moment, we're in a really good spot of monitoring those iPads, being able to see the names of the devices. We've got authenticated logons, so Microsoft and Google credentials can be used to get that unique capture of who was using it. Sometimes in schools, they've just got a generic login or shared devices, and you don't know who's done what, really. So that's really powerful. And something quite cool, especially for primary setting, is a QR code login system we have, where you can generate QR code badges for every student, and they log in using the camera on the iPad.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So people really like that. That's really handy. And obviously, that just really goes towards cementing the fact that we've got the coverage for everything. Nothing's going to get missed. There's no sort of back doors to this, and that's why we do a really good job of supporting the guidance.
Brilliant. So outside of Classroom Cloud, what else does NetSupport offer schools?
So offering schools, we have an IT asset management tool called NetSupport DNA, which is kind of a jack of all trades for IT managers. You know, device management, you've got your power management, you've got your software distribution, deployment, lots of stuff, really. We've also got NetSupport Notify, which is a desktop alerting tool, so allows you to instantly or schedule messages and pop-ups that will appear on people's screens. That could go to SLT staff, teachers, or to every device in school, including the student ones, for emergencies. So it does we brand it as a lockdown solution as well. You can pre-configure an emergency response, fire alarm, intruder, whatever it is, and that's going to appear on all devices with an audible alert. People will obviously recognize that and follow the processes that they need to. And it ties in with Martin's Law, fairly new, the government bid for anti-terrorism, also known as, and schools will have to demonstrate a lockdown procedure as such, and that goes towards supporting it.
Another topic that's really on the lips of many people at the moment is AI. So the DfE have now published a policy paper. There's various information around. There's guidance from government as well. How are NetSupport able to help manage AI in schools?
Sure. Well, it's obviously quite tricky because I think of the pace that things are moving, and there's always something new out there and whatnot. But as far as it generally goes, we do a really good job particularly because our software is a client install on the devices, and therefore when I said earlier about we capture any text that's input, that could be into the Copilot application that's stored on the device, or if they're using applications that have Copilot built into it, like Outlook or Teams, if it's on that device, we still capture it. So that's very powerful. But yeah, it will change, I think, with the new KCSIE guidance coming up, and things will have to evolve, but we are kind of at the forefront of that conversation. Sometimes there are questions around, can it do X, Y, and Z? I mean, one that we do have, which is very tricky for us, is that people ask if we can capture the text that has been generated by an AI tool. And we don't currently, for a couple of reasons. A is the sheer amount of data that you're going to be analyzing and capturing is very unrealistic or expensive. Definitely. Also as well, we don't generally expect that AI tools would trigger much safeguarding data unless prompted to, and they do have their own built-in measures and policies to ensure that they're not sort of saying anything that they shouldn't. Obviously, that's not a perfect 100% guarantee, but we do cover a lot more than, I guess, some of the other extension-based safeguarding tools. So,
okay. Brilliant. Thanks for your time today, Dan.
Appreciate it. Thanks
really
for having
good
me
to
on.
catch you up and talk about these few points, and we hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you very much.
Cool. Cheers now.
Take care.